Hello everyone. I'm going to make this video about the climate change protest because I feel that there is a lot of information missing. These young people and other people are making such an effort, and I feel that they're missing the boat. So I hope that you will bear with me and watch the entire video. I'm going to present some very important information. And we can see here the report card, which is all F's. Here are some protesters. Let's just read a few signs. Sizzle, don't diddle. The climate is changing, why can't we? And I don't know if you heard me, but I don't want my planet to be hot. I don't know if you heard me, but I don't want my planet to be hot. So it's very interesting that these people don't understand this right here. This is permanent extinction if they start firing these things off. And I'm going to cover just a few other things before I get to the nuclear, but it's more than just nuclear weapons. Here on this chart, much of the world's mismanaged plastic waste ends up fouling global waters. And this is from 2010, this chart, so I'm sure it's a lot worse. But they've been demonizing America. And you can see, the US there. And then look over here at China and this part of the world. So this is just outrageous, actually. Why are they in Canada? Why aren't they in China? And here we have ammunition dumping at sea after World War II, all around the coasts of the world. And this was quite a while ago, and I'm just wondering how many more dots would be on this map now. Take a little closer look. And here are the countries with nuclear weapons. Countries with the most nuclear reactors in operation. And the United States has the most with 99. And this is a nuclear waste storage sites in the United States. And these are reactor sites or temporary storage. There isn't a deep cavernous area to hold them in the United States. This map shows the total fallout from nuclear bomb tests in the United States from 1951 to 1970. And I happen to live in a red area. So you can see how contaminated what they've done to our country. And this lowered the IQ of Americans after all of this. This just gives you an idea how much this is covering our country. This is just the Great Lakes region. And there's nuclear waste, nuclear reactors, uranium processing, and some other things. I think uranium mine tailings. It's just a mess. And this is Niagara Falls Nuclear Waste Storage Site in Lewiston, New York. Does that look like a football field or a nuclear waste site? And from what I've briefly read, they want to dig it up because there's problems with it. Boy, is that going to create problems. And this is just an image of a landfill of these radioactive barrels. And this sign here, why should we go to school if you won't listen to the educated? It's really sad. And I just feel so bad. I feel like they've missed the boat. For some reason, they haven't learned anything about the nuclear industry. And here is a article from Scientific American. And the spent nuclear fuel from the weapons and the nuclear power plants remain deadly for 250,000 years. And these are all pictures of Yucca Mountain in Nevada. And they're supposed to, since for the past 30 years, they've been wanting to build a deep nuclear waste repository site that will keep everything under cover for 1,000,000 years. And they haven't done anything with it yet. It's an environmental nightmare. And so all these plants with all of this horribly dangerous nuclear waste, it's sitting all over our country instead of being put away. And here we have Illinois and Nevada are fighting over where to store nuclear waste. And let me read a little bit from this article. Without a permanent solution for storing nuclear waste, which is dangerous some 10,000 years after it's considered spent fuel, that's a low estimate, the nuclear plants themselves store the waste on site in so-called concrete casks arranged on the edges of properties that spent nuclear fuel piled up in more than 80 locations across the country. And that nuclear power plant outside Rockford, Illinois, this gentleman Shimkus said his state of 13 million people shouldn't bear the risk of radioactive waste. Isn't that the truth? And here is a story about the Shoshone Nation, the American Indians, and how this is a threat to their land. It's sacred, and they call it a doomsday button, and I have to agree with them. Here we have the Nuclear Emergency Tracking Center. It's at netc.com. And this is monitored by private citizens. And these are all the nuclear power plants, all the nuclear reactors around the United States. And if we move down here, we can see these levels. We have Radcon 1, background radiation level, which is like normal. And then Radcon 2 is rising radiation, Radcon 3 is elevated, and Radcon 4 is concern and watch, and Radcon 5 is an alert. And I have seen just this past week 9 different plants on this map that were in the red at Radcon 4, which is a concern and a watch. And this is also on the site. You can see Japan, and they've got a lot of nuclear plants, clusters. You know, look at that. And Fukushima is here. So to go back to Yucca Mountain for a minute, they think that it's a good location. They still want to try to do it. And it also says here, but a failure to resolve the waste issue will compromise this key component of any serious proposal to address climate change. Really. And here is the Russian intercontinental ballistic missile, SS-18. It's named Satan, and it carries 10 warheads in one missile. And one thing I need to say is I don't think people realize that the old nuclear weapons are nothing like the new nuclear weapons. This is Satan II that Russia has. It is called the RS-28 Sarmat. And all these little things are inside this warhead. And each one of these little cones can be programmed to hit different targets. And looks like this one I thought carried 15. It might be more. Yeah, 15. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Well, you can read it, I guess. I tried to prepare. Okay, the payload can carry more than 10 warheads, multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles. So you could just imagine how damaging that would be. This is a silo for the new bomb. Maybe coming to a city near you. This is the state of Illinois, and these are all of the routes that they haul nuclear waste on. Some are highways and some are railways. And this is my state, Ohio. And this is a transportation map to Yucca Mountain Waste Facility, but it's not open yet. But this would be the routes that they take, and I imagine also that they do have to move this stuff around because they don't have room for it. This is a nuclear waste site in Missouri, and I'm sure if you watched news a couple years ago, Westlake landfill, they had an underground fire here that was headed to the nuclear waste, and they didn't know what they were going to do, and I haven't really heard another word about it. I'm going to be showing some pictures that may bother some viewers, so you may want to fast forward this part or turn your head. But we're going to look at some of the effects of Chernobyl on the children. And this poor little baby has its brain on the outside of its head. How would you feel if your child was born like that from nuclear radiation? There is more children in Russia, and this poor boy here, look at his feet. That is from the Chernobyl nuclear reactor explosion. And another. How would you feel if that was your son or your brother or another member of your family? This, I don't really have words for. And this is the last picture, but how horrific, it's sick, is this? This is from Fukushima, Japan. This little rabbit right here was born without ears from the mutation from the radiation. And once these rabbits are gone, then this rabbit, all of the rabbits that it has will have no ears. And it's permanent. This is a deaf rabbit with no ears. And doesn't this Fukushima tomato look yummy? And this is a picture of the Fukushima radioactive water from the blown reactors that they have to pump out because it's so radioactive. And these containers weren't constructed very well. They're leaking and they're in the open air, and they've been that way for years, ever since the accident happened and they started making these piles. And this is a very small portion of what they have. And this is another interesting fact. And I want you to know that here in a town near me, they closed the hospital maternity ward and expanded the cancer center. So I just want to say that this nuclear industry has ruined our planet. It's out of control. We've got waste piled up everywhere. And I feel that all of these areas are battlefield targets. And it's just a very, very serious situation. And please educate yourself about it. Go get a couple books at the library, look online. Just start learning about it because it's a very complex subject. but it's one that will destroy us permanently forever. And it already has done that to a lot of people living around these polluted areas that are sick and dying. Thank you for watching, and please share this information, and God bless you all. Please make your effort a true one that will make a change and stop this violence and finger pointing. That's not going to fix anything. Thank you.